Welcome back to Affirmations. I want to thank my subscribers and any new subscribers I got this week, as well as those of you who are swinging through. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when I post. I'm hoping everyone has had a great week. Okay, if you hadn't, what's one thing you can do to make it better, as we say? Okay. Let's see. And also wishing everyone mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health. And for those of you that are new, we always start with our saying, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Have you been feeding yourself fresh or rotten fruit? Always wanting to mind the self-talk that you do with yourself, as well as what you speak out loud, as well as what you're speaking about others. If you're being malicious or lying on others, sometimes it can activate reap what you sow, and you don't want that. Okay, so let's be kind. Okay, let's see. So for those of you that are new, each week we are tackling the topic of healing slave trauma. Okay, we're going to be using the DBT deck for clients and therapists. 101 mindful practices to manage distress, regulate emotions, and build better relationships. Okay. Also, too, in the past, we were using the self-therapy card decks. This is also a great deck to get to work on some issues if you are wanting to reach counseling goals. Sometimes I have clients that I've worked with use these after they've completed counseling. Okay. And also, too, wanting us to consider to get the book Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, America's Legacy of Enduring Injury and Healing by Dr. Joy DeGury. Again, we've heard of post-traumatic stress disorder, but never post-traumatic slave syndrome. This is the diagnosis that would fit our people. Again, a lot of the traumas that we've gone through were things that were learned and passed down through slavery that because we never got counseling, enact on each other, okay? So we do want to learn more about that, okay? Also, too, those three things can be found on my Amazon store. There's a link in the description box at the bottom, as well as on the About page at the bottom, as well as some other products that you might like. So do check that out, okay? Okay, so each week, for those of you that are new, we get the stones, and we're going to see which deck we're going to speak from. Okay, we got courage. Yeah. Do you have the courage to heal? Right? Tackling the topic of healing slave trauma. And we normally just call it trauma, but really it's what's been passed down to us throughout the years because our people never got counseling for those things, okay? So it does take courage, okay? So let's see what that is. That deck belongs to the purple deck. Okay, let's see what we're going to get with this one. Okay, this deck is a little bit bigger for us to be able to shuffle a little bit more. Okay. Okay. It's so funny. Every time I think about courage, I think about the cowardly lion in The Wiz. That's kind of how we are. It's funny. People, can be scared of blacks and, they're scared of us. And we can be quite tough, but there is a type of cowardness to us sometimes, and deservingly so. We've had to be, it's very scary, the world we live in. When we've talked a little bit about, when you start talking about, when victims are trying to heal, they normally have the right to not have to be in contact with the abuser. And so because we are still in the land of our historical abuser, it will cause us to have that kind of mixed emotion, right, of having courage, but also to sometimes struggling with being cowardly, right? Sometimes being brave, sometimes, hiding, so Definitely a trauma response, right? And I think we're wise sometimes to do that, okay? So no judgment. Okay, so we have, I'm going to pick this one. This one, we had two pop up, but I'm going to go with this one. This one says, we're looking at, how's this doing? Improve the word relaxation. So we're looking at improve, and we're looking at the acronym that we've taken the R from relaxation. We're taking the R from improve, standing for relaxation. Okay. So forgive that noise if y'all hear that noise on the phone. Let's see. Relaxation is a human need. What do you do to relax? Or what do you think could be relaxing? Right? Plan to engage in some of those relaxation behaviors every day. Remembering that learning to relax takes practice. Take some time now to be mindful of your breathing, to tense and release the major muscle groups, or to simply sit in a quiet place. Relax. The tricky thing now is that a lot of us, the way we relax is normally it's always connected to, again, smoking a cigarette, smoking a joint, drinking alcohol. Those are the things that normally we have turned to relax. Some of us turn to our spirituality, but we've always had those kind of extremes. Now, again, no shade. When you look at the type of pressure that we've been under just to survive, a lot of us kind of have chosen just to escape, and sometimes we're using drugs and alcohol to do so. But a lot of it has to do with, again, if we needing to escape to that point, that means that some healing is required, right? Or we need to question our lifestyle. And I will say, the materialistic world that we do live in and the pressure that we're under sometimes can have us running ourselves thin to the point to where it affects our health. If what we're doing, or even if it's work or relationships, if it's to the point to where it's harming our health, then we're going to have to rethink that. And are we willing to change some things to be able to have a more healthier lifestyle? And if we're not willing to do that, why are we not doing that? Okay. And sometimes it's the pressure of needing to fit in, or again, we live in a very materialistic world, and so there's a lot of pressure. Okay, so we have to look at that. Okay, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Okay. All right. So let's see. We are going to get our. Let's do this one, and I actually kind of read from this. Okay. So we had this one before, but this is a good one because I may read a little excerpt from it. See what we're gonna get. Okay, it's one to pop all silly Billy. Okay, so this little dick fell out, but let me choose from this little dick. Man, this big chunk popped out. Let's see what I can get. Okay, that fell out. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got pride. Okay. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Pride. That's interesting. Interesting. So if I love myself, interesting. So let's take this angle. If I don't love myself, sometimes I will see myself in everyone as well. So sometimes when we're judging other people harshly, sometimes it means that we also judge ourselves harshly. Sometimes when we're cruel to others, a lot of times that's an indication that we don't love ourselves and we're cruel to ourselves. But when we love ourselves, We normally will see the good in people, right? I love myself and I see myself in everyone, right? So that's an indication. Normally, if you're, really very judgmental and harsh with others, it could be an indicator that you are, needing to heal that, the issue of self love, okay? And again, in slavery, a lot has been done with the programming and, making jokes about us, our hair, our skin, us, being second class citizens, us still trying to be accepted and loved, um, us not having pride in ourselves, us identifying more with other groups, us not wanting to marry and be a part of each other, right? We've been programmed that something else is better, right? We've talked about blanqueamiento. Again, this is a practice that was used in 5 or probably even more countries of the Latin countries where they wanted to lighten the population, right? So it's a soft genocide, right? Where they promote you mixing yourself out, okay? Do we love ourselves? Is that important? Okay. So that's something to think about. But let me see what this pride says in here. Pride. Let's see if we go to it. I was right there like I just had it. Pride. Come on, where are you? Pride. There you go. Interesting. It says, so I'm just going to read it. This kind of has a shadow there. It says, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. You need to take time to honor and acknowledge who you are and what your soul has accomplished with your life so far. So again, no matter kind of what you've gone through, you really do need to acknowledge, even if you've had a hard life, that you've accomplished and survived. Sometimes we don't pat ourselves on the back. It's amazing that we've made it this far. You should look at your past soul choices and be mindful of how, through your positive actions, compassion, and understanding, you have made a better life for yourself and others. And if you haven't done that, if you haven't had positive action or compassion and understanding towards others, and you have not made better life choices for yourself, it's important to be able to acknowledge that, okay? And ask yourself, am I willing to make some changes, okay? How have you changed the world in some little way, right? Sometimes changing the world, again, is one person at a time, it's one family at a time, right? How have you shared insights with others? Reflect on what you have mastered. You should never underappreciate or underestimate yourself or your accomplishments. Now is the time for you to remember how brave you have been throughout your journey. Again, even if you haven't been perfect, you've survived it, okay? And you've done things to survive. Now ask yourself, do I still need to do some of the things that maybe wasn't so great to survive? Do I still need to be doing those things, okay? Celebration is required. Humans tend to spend too much time and energy on negative emotions on what they have not done. This card signifies you should take rightful ownership of who you are and how you have shared your unique light with the world. It may also be a perfect time for you to look around and acknowledge those other souls and people who have also accomplished many great things and who need to be reminded of them, okay? So not only pat ourselves on the back, but maybe acknowledge someone else, okay? And with that, I want to thank you all for returning. Again, hit the notification bell, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the store. Again, there's a link in the description box as well as on the About page. And check out the community tab as well. And again, don't forget that everyone has a right to heal from trauma without judgment or interference from others or others' opinions, including a race, nation. And until next time, bye.